Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Elite Weather. My name is Mr. G, your meteorologist today, and we're going to be talking about our midweek weather forecast. If you're here in the Twin Cities, it's a very hot day today. We saw the temperatures in the mid 90s. The dew point was in the 70s. It felt like 104 degrees this afternoon. And right now, we are seeing thunderstorms moving across the Twin Cities right now. We're seeing some of those showers and storms dropping down from the north as we have a cold front coming into the area, and it is atrocious this evening. That humidity, even though it's in the nighttime hours, is about 8:40 p.m. and we're dealing with that heat and humidity, and now thunderstorms. So if you're in the Twin Cities, be on the watch out for thunderstorms across central and southern Minnesota right now. And in this forecast, we're going to be talking about our weather today. We're going to look at our current conditions, talk about our severe weather prospects over the next couple of days, and as well the tropics. A lot going on in the tropics right now as the tropics have suddenly become alive. So we're seeing a lot of activity down across the tropics now. And let's take a look at our weather today with our map. We're looking at our current radar right now, and we're seeing those showers, thunderstorms through the four corners as the monsoons have the never-ending monsoon season this year. Very good monsoon, but a lot of times with the monsoons is very hit and miss. Even though overall it was a very active monsoon, one of the busiest monsoons. But if you take location by location, some people would say it wasn't that great. So it really is a matter of perspective and where you are and where the thunderstorms lined up. It was onto how you viewed this monsoon season. And as you can see on the radar, there is a hurricane out there. Yes, we do have hurricane. We have Hurricane Fiona down here in the Caribbean, going about to hit the Turks and Caicos right now with 115 miles per hour winds, but we will talk more about that later. So we have our monsoons across the four corners. We have the remnants of Super Typhoon Merbach still in California. That area of low pressure has kind of wandered around northern in Central California over the last several days. It's going to continue to do so. So it's right here in Northern California. They've seen 2 to 3 inches of rain across portions of Northern California, and as much as 5 inches of rain here around the Lake Tahoe area here in the Sierra Nevadas. We're seeing heavy rain. And we have thunderstorms here across the Midwest as well as into Michigan, showers and thunderstorms, and more rain showers here in Canada and New Brunswick up there in near Maine. So a few areas seeing some showers and storms this afternoon. That was a look at our live radar. Here we are with the temperatures that we saw today across the country. And we saw a forecasted high of 88, but we actually hit a high of 94. So we've surpassed our forecasted high temperature, 90 down in Chicago, 80 over in Detroit. New York City saw a high of 80 today, while it was 63 in Boston. They have that nice cooler weather in the New England states. So very fall-like and very, very New England-like weather there across the Northeast. And 87 down in Jacksonville. So Florida, we saw those temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s, whereas 91 over in New Orleans, 90 down in Tampa, 94 in Houston, those mid 90s across Texas today, and a high of 96 there in Dallas, 98 in Phoenix, 81 in LA, 97 in Vegas, 72 in San Francisco. So we saw very mild conditions on the West Coast, a little bit warm down in the Southland, but very comfortable temperatures for this time of the year. And as we take a look at the watches and hazards currently going on, and we have a very large area that could deal with some flooding here across the four corners as our resurgent monsoons have kicked in. So we can see flooding through Arizona, northwestern New Mexico, southwestern Colorado, and southern Utah. So all of the national parks in the Four Corners can be dealing with some flash flash flooding. It's really kind of spectacular to see those flash floods occur in places like Bryce Canyon and Zion, with those cliffs, and you can see those waterfalls and that water that's come down from those monsoons. So I saw some pretty amazing video from monsoons this summer through portions of the Four Corners and through the national parks out there. We have our flood advisory also in California here through the northern end of the Central Valley and into the Sierra Nevada mountain range, as well as and through we have our red flag advisory here across the western facing side of the Cascade Mountain Range up there near Seattle and Tacoma. And we have that there in central Washington. And for the most part, it's quiet across the eastern half of the nation. We do have our severe thunderstorm here in Chicago and in the Illinois area, as well as we have thunderstorms through Wisconsin and on over to Minnesota, as we do have a cold front in the area. So we're going to be seeing that severe weather this evening that's going to be possible there for you guys, okay? And here we go as we take a look at our surface situation this evening. We have that frontal boundary across Minnesota. There is a warm front there, which explains why it was 90 degrees. That heat down from the south, that warm air advection is when that warm, moist tropical air gets transported to the north by that front. And we saw those strong southerly winds transporting that hot and humid air to the north. So we have that passing warm front this evening. So we're seeing those thunderstorms with that. And we have an area of low pressure. So the severe weather potential exists here in the Twin Cities. And we're going to be seeing this front advance to the east tomorrow. So we're going to see a cool down. We're going to have a secondary front drop through later on in the week, where we're going to see temperatures across the Great Lakes and the upper Mississippi Valley in the 50s to lower 60s. So definitely a dramatic cool down in the temperatures across the northern tier of the nation. Here we are with our Four Corners high pressure. So we have our monsoons back into play, and that's going to continue into your Wednesday as well. So more monsoon thunderstorms and storms across the upper Midwest and into the Great Lakes. And we'll see a few opportunities for some showers and storms down here along the Gulf Coast. Now let's talk about our severe weather potential, and this is going to be for your Wednesday. So we're going to be seeing that severe weather into the interior of New England as well as the Ohio Valley tomorrow. So we have that potential to be seeing some heavy rain, some flooding, and small hail, and very gusty winds. These winds can hit 70 miles per hour tomorrow, so we'll be seeing that scattered severe here in the yellow, where we have our slight chance. Now, our marginal chance for severe weather is going to be through Indiana, portions of northern Kentucky, West Virginia, central Pennsylvania, central New York, and New Hampshire there. So we're going to be seeing that potential for some isolated severe. And that primary issue is going to be some heavy rain and gusty winds. Some more storms possible here in portions of Utah as well as Idaho, where we could see some hail and gusty winds and some brief downpours there. Gusty winds are going to be the main thing, and you could see some large hail as well, as we're going to see some high elevated thunderstorms through the mountains out here. So that will make for very spectacular storms to look at for the storm chasers out there for your Wednesday. So that is our severe weather for Wednesday. And for your Thursday, a lot of the energy gets pushed up into Canada by then, but we will have enough energy for a marginal risk for severe storms in the mid-Atlantic. So Virginia and North Carolina, we could see some marginal thunderstorms, as well as in Delaware and New Jersey. Maryland, you're included in that. We're not going to forget about Baltimore and DC. So that marginal risk for severe weather on your Thursday, and we're going to see our monsoons continue. But the only thing that's going to be a problem here is going to be the potential for some flash flooding. So in the mountains here and across the high plains, we could see some flooding on your Thursday. So that is a look at our severe weather outlook. But here is the star of the show, is going to be the tropics. We have Hurricane Fiona that's currently down near the just north of the Hispaniola. So it's going to be affecting the Turks and Caicos next. And it is a major hurricane. It is a Category 3 hurricane with 125 miles per hour wind. Is moving to the northwest at 8 miles per hour. It's going to steadily increase in intensity as well as it moves off to the north. It will remain a major hurricane through Friday at 2 p.m. As that update comes, then it will start to dissipate a little bit down to probably a Category 1 or 2 hurricane by 2 p.m. on Saturday. And then by 2 p.m. on Sunday, excuse me, we'll be talking about a tropical storm there near New Brunswick, Canada, and Nova Scotia. So we're going to be dealing with a hurricane affecting Canada as we move through this rest of this week with Hurricane Fiona. All right. Very powerful hurricane. You should have seen the damage it did across Puerto Rico. The flooding, it was unbelievable. The entire island was without power when Hurricane Fiona passed overhead. Here is a look at the model forecast guidance for the intensity for Fiona, and it will remain, there's a slow increase as it becomes a Category 4 hurricane, and that's going to be with winds of 140 plus miles per hour. When it hits that Category 4, it will spend about from the 60 hour to about, we'll give it the 92 hours. So it's going to spend about 24 hours as a Category 4 hurricane before there's a steady decline in the intensity as we get to the 120 hour, and it's going to drop down to a tropical storm, and that's when it's into the northeastern Canada. So we're going to be seeing that intensity drop off because it will no longer be receiving that moisture plume from the Gulf Stream. So it's going to be in the North Atlantic or the so much cooler water. So we'll see that decline then at that point. But there's more to talk about in the tropics. Here is a look at Fiona right now from the satellite image. Look at that beautiful eye. Got that eye wall, very photogenic. And look at that, these feeder bands here. You can see that convection there, very intense convection. The strongest convection is where it should be to the northeast of the eye. So right about here and to the right of the eye is where you should see the strongest winds from a hurricane. And we have exactly that. The proportions are beautiful. So this is a very in tune storm right here. That engine is running on peak performance right now as Hurricane Fiona is going to be moving its way to the north and eventually a slight jog to the northeast where it's going to ride into northeastern Canada. So here we are with our other item that's in the Eastern Pacific right now, and we are talking about Tropical Cyclone Madeleine. This did spend about 36 hours as a tropical storm. Right now, it's just a tropical depression with winds of about 35 miles per hour. So just a few miles below that tropical storm threshold. And it will slowly continue to decline as it moves off to the west, southwest. And by 12 p.m. Sunday, it will still hang on as a tropical depression, and it's only going to really affect shipping interest There is cruise lines that go from Mexico to Hawaii, and I'm not exactly sure of the route they take, but those lines we should be worrying about the track of the storm as well as other shipping and boating interests. I used to go down into this region with my father and fish, so you have to watch for that when you're out in the over the ocean like that. So that's things you would look for if you were ocean fishing. Where are all the storms? So, all right. So now let's talk about. Here is a look at Madeleine as it spins out there over the Pacific. All right. Now let's talk about our next storm. It's going to be Tropical Storm Gaston. And here it is out in the Central Pacific out here. Oh, not Pacific. We're sorry. We're talking about the Atlantic. And it's a tropical storm. And it's going to remain a tropical storm. And it has winds of 40 miles per hour. And it's not bothering anybody but the buoys out there and maybe shipping. I know that's very prime shipping lanes and lanes for transatlantic passenger ships. They're not cruise lines, but they're passenger ships. Do you realize that there are still transatlantic passenger ships? Yes. Yeah, who knew? But the Queen Mary 2, I think, travels through that region from New York to London. And there's a couple other lines that also do the same. So we do have a transatlantic cruise. Now, they're not cruises, but they are transatlantic passenger service in the ship and as well as the shipping, for freight and everything. So anyway, Gaston isn't really bothering anybody out there, and he's going to head off to the north and east until we get to the weekend, and then he's going to get confused and not be able to make up his mind. It's like, nah, for some reason I want to go to the northwest, but I will see what happens with me. I can't make up my mind. I'm gonna get confused. All right, and here is the look. We went there. Let's go down. All right. What's going on here? All righty. Okay, so all right, yeah, that is the look. Okay, now we got it. That's a look at Gaston there. And look at Gaston looking pretty good out there. It's a tropical storm. Well, he got 40 miles per hour. Yeah, he's looking really good. That is a healthy tropical storm out there. Is that the right storm? I'm not so sure. But Gaston out there looking real good right now for only 40 miles per hour. Is that an eye? No, this can't be the right photo. No, come on, Gaston. You ain't gonna play me like that, man. Okay. All right, so here's something that the GFS is talking. And this is September 27th to October 2nd. The GFS is saying that we could see a hurricane. Now look at that barometric pressure. It gets down to 923. This is a super hurricane. This is a category 5. So the GFS is predicting a category 5 hurricane. And this is going to come across the Caribbean and up into the Gulf of Mexico. In fact, I believe that its tropical wave is coming off the coast of Africa now. So this guy is going to come all the way across to the Atlantic and into the Southern Caribbean and come into the Gulf of Mexico and potentially hit the Florida Panhandle. So remember Michael a few years ago? I think it was 2018 or 19. Hurricane Michael, Category 5, hit Davie, Florida, and as well as Pensacola down there and Apalachicola. Well, here we go, guys. That potential for another big, powerful, major hurricane down there in Florida. Now, this is a long ways off. This could change, but I just thought I would show this to you because it's interesting. And so I think that if the GFS, it could change, and this is a couple of weeks away. So at least a good 10 days away before we start to even see this guy. So, but this is what the GFS is painting now. And it would be interesting to see us make it through this whole season and no storm bothers the United States in any way, shape, or form. But here we go. All you need is one to make a historic situation. And this, according to this forecast or this guidance here, This is a very powerful hurricane, and this would be a Category 5 with barometric pressure in the 920s. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. That is a very powerful hurricane. All right, here's that weather forecast. If you're watching this program and this is what you came to see. All right, here's the forecast for your Wednesday. And we have the four corners here with our monsoons that's going to be in full force. So a very active monsoon for your Wednesday. And we can see the potential for flash flooding. And we have an area of low pressure here across the northern Rockies that we could see some more heavy rain with flash flooding and some severe weather even possible across this region here. And that heavy rain and high winds is going to be the primary threat through the mountains out here of Utah. This is going to be Salt Lake City and the Wasatch Mountain Range. And we got this frontal boundary that's going all the way up toward the northeast and into Canada. Is going to spread our severe weather through this region here, through the Ohio Valley, as well as in the cold country here through Pennsylvania and also in upstate New York. So the lakes of Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario will be dealing with the potential for some severe weather for your Wednesday afternoon. More showers and thunderstorms will spread from the mid-Atlantic up into the northeast and New England. We'll see cooler weather here in New England, but south of this warm front, it's going to be in the 80s toward the south and west here through the mid-Atlantic states. Dry weather across the southeast, with the exception of a few showers and thunderstorms across Florida. And we will see some more heavy rain along the west coast in Northern California and Oregon as the remnants of the super typhoon from Japan continues to spread rainfall. And we can even see a little higher elevation mountain snow as well in the Sierra Nevada and in the northern Rockies through Wyoming, where we could pick up a little bit of rain and snow mix. We got a secondary cold front across the upper Mississippi Valley here through Minnesota and Wisconsin, and the UP of Michigan. Let's not say the upper UP because it's the UP of Michigan, and that's going to make cooler temperatures across northern Minnesota for your Wednesday, as those temperatures are going to be in the 60s north of the Twin Cities. Here we are with your Thursday. Got this frontal boundary that's moving to the east and across the Rockies and into the northern plains. This is going to be the next guy to affect the weather across the Midwest and into the Northeast in the coming days. So it's going to be spreading rainfall and thunderstorms and warmer temperatures as warm air gets pulled up from the south ahead of this guy. So we're going to see another brief warm up across Minnesota prior to the arrival of showers and thunderstorms on Friday. But on Thursday, we're going to see that in western Minnesota back toward the Rockies, and our monsoons will continue with a couple of areas that could see some flash flooding down here across the Four Corners and across the Glacier National Park there in western Montana and northern Idaho. Can see some heavy rain that could lead to some flooding. More heavy rain is going to be expected across Oregon and the eastern valleys in Washington near Spokane as well. And those showers will continue across the northeast and much cooler weather as our fronts will have passed, and we're going to see those temperatures fall back into the 60s and 70s all the way down to the mid-Atlantic, warm across the southeast, and some scattered showers and thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast from New Orleans to the Mexican border, and then across Central and South Florida as we got sea breeze action coming in there. We got Hurricane Fiona that's going to be out over the open water, and that's going to be headed towards northern Canada. But depending on the speed of this front moving to the east will determine whether or not Fiona's track gets diverted from Canada and stay out to the open Atlantic. A lot of that's going to depend on this front and where it ends up in relation to where Fiona ends up. So that is all that I have for today with this weather forecast. And thanks for watching me if you did watch. I'm going to be doing these videos now as lives instead of pre-recorded video because I think the live videos get more watches. And I even think the folks on Facebook get to watch. So we do these on Facebook and YouTube. And I also do TikTok, and you can watch my lives on TikTok as well. My name is Mr. G. That's all that I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching. And remember, if you like this program or if you watch this as a replay, leave your likes, comments, and subscribe. All right. Bye-bye.